So we're here for Tay Housing, but what I'm going to do is back up a moment and talk a little bit about what happened to get us here. It's a bit of a refresher course. I know many of you kind of have this information, but for the audience that wasn't kind of part of the process, I thought we'd do a little review. So the basic is who are transitional age youth, and we define them as young people leaving foster care, homeless and runaway youth parents, youth with disabilities, those in the adult and juvenile justice systems, are not on track to graduate, and those are immigrants. And these are all 16 to 24-year-olds. So part of how we even got here today was that we realized that we were missing some of our young people through those that are disconnected and not kind of attaching to communities and to jobs and to positive futures. So through some of our research, we found that we have 80,000 youth that are living in San Francisco that are between 16 and 24. We have about 10% that are not going to make it successfully to adulthood. These are the young people that we're seeing have kind of negative outcomes that we're not excited about, that you all aren't enjoying in your communities, which are homelessness and youth that are prematurely parents and experiencing unemployment. So that's really what TSF is about. We're the initiative charged to partner with the city and get the recommendations that you have in your packet implemented. So we started about 3 years ago to try to address this issue. So to back up one step further, just kind of how we see young people in public systems is that this is actually a young person that we had as a part of our early research, and found that this young person had been a part of multiple systems over the course of their life. So we really are trying to get them at a place when they're coming out of these youth systems to have successful adulthood. So this person had been in 0 to 5 services, had been in foster care, had special needs and was a part of the special education system, had truancy, was a part of probation, was incarcerated for a part of his young adulthood, and now we're talking about what he's going to do next. So this is a course of issues over time. This is not kind of coming out of nowhere. So yeah, we have lots of bells and whistles. Okay, so just to back up one step, as you all know, this body was actually the creator of this task force that made these recommendations. In 2005, the Youth Commission came together and realized that young people were kind of falling off the map after 18, and asked the mayor, then the Mayor Newsom, to come together and fix it. So there was a very long process that happened over the course of 18 months that brought community-based organizations, the public departments that serve and support young people, and the young adults themselves. We broke up into smaller groups and developed the 16 recommendations. So there was a very thorough process. Hundreds of people at the point that we actually published the report were involved. I wanted to highlight, it's hard to see, but I wanted to highlight a few of the comments that young people made. One of the really important parts of the task force was that we wanted to hear directly from young people, and we knew that they had a lot of both information about the problems and the solutions. So really, housing was the #1 issue we heard. We talked to over 100 young people through a course of 10 focus groups, and it was very clear that housing was #1 for them as a key to their success. These are a couple of the other quotes that were around workforce development, and then this one was one that really kept us going when we started thinking about healthcare as well, that some young people aren't visiting doctors until they're incarcerated. So that's the reality for some of our young people here, and we were really meant to charge to try to change that. So in 2007, at the very end of that year, there was a report published. You might have seen this around the office. We have a few, they're a bit of an antique at this point, but we have a few copies around, and they are the full recommendations that the task force gave back to the city to say this is how we need to change it. These recommendations were comprehensive. They covered the gamut of service needs, of systems needs. It talked a lot about the needs for including young people in decision making. So it kind of ran the whole thing. So if you haven't read the full report, this the summary that you received, this progress report we just published, kind of tells you the story about what it is we thought that was the most important now, 3 years later. So to that end, during the course of this recommendation, there were housing needs that percolated, as I said, and there was a group of people that came together to develop a housing plan that Anne will talk a little bit more about. But this was really our bold agenda to create housing for young people We're one of the few cities in the country at this point are developing these kind of housing units. So we knew it would be hard, but we thought it was an important step forward in making sure that this city was as equitable as we hoped it would be in terms of having a level playing field for young people as they're becoming adults. So you all probably have my information, but if you don't, definitely email me or call me with any questions. And of course, go on Facebook and Twitter, because that's where you have to be. So definitely follow us if you don't already. And then I hope Carrie next Ann. Yeah, and we'll welcome any questions as well. Thank you.
Miss Antrobus.